You work from home, so you're basically always free, my family assumed, while interrupting my consulting calls that paid their bills. It's not like real work, my sister laughed while asking me to dog sit. My real work included real boundaries. So I cut them off financially. Now they're begging. Hey, Reddit. I need to get this off my chest because what's been happening with my family has been driving me insane for years, and I finally hit my breaking point last month. I, 34 male, and I work from home as an independent IT security consultant. Been doing this for about 6 years now, pulling in around $180,000 annually, sometimes more depending on contracts. Pretty good money for sitting at home in sweatpants, right? That's what my family thinks anyway. The sitting at home in sweatpants part, not the money part. They have no idea what I actually make. Before I get into the current disaster, let me give you some background so you understand how we got here. I started this consulting business after getting laid off from a corporate IT job during the pandemic. That job was soul-crushing anyway. 45-minute commute each way, open office layout where you couldn't think, endless meetings that could have been emails, the whole corporate nightmare package. Getting laid off was honestly a blessing in disguise. I'd been doing freelance security audits on the side for years, so when the corporate job ended, I just ramped that up. Within 6 months, I had enough clients to go full-time independent. Within a year, I was making more than I ever did in corporate America, and I was doing it from my home office in actual comfort. The transition wasn't easy, though. Those first few months were terrifying. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat, wondering if I'd made a terrible mistake. What if the clients dried up? What if I couldn't make rent? What if I had to go crawling back to corporate life? I worked 70-hour weeks those first 6 months, taking every project I could get, building my reputation, proving myself to clients who were skeptical about hiring an independent consultant instead of a big firm. But I made it work. I specialized in penetration testing and vulnerability assessments for mid-sized companies that couldn't afford the big consulting firms but still needed serious security work. I found my niche. I built my reputation. And slowly, the clients started coming to me instead of me having to chase them. My family situation at the time was rough. Dad, 64M, had just retired from his warehouse job after 40 years. Mom, 62F, worked part-time at a department store, but was dealing with health issues, diabetes and high blood pressure that required constant monitoring and expensive medications. My sister Claire, 29F, was bouncing between retail jobs and bad relationships, constantly getting back on her feet. My brother Owen, 26M, was finishing up a degree in something useless. I think it was communications, and living in my parents' basement. When I started making decent money, I wanted to help. These are my parents, you know? They'd raised me, fed me, kept a roof over my head. Dad's retirement wasn't great, maybe $1,400 a month from Social Security, and Mom's retail job barely covered groceries. They were struggling, and I was finally in a position to help. So I started helping out. First, it was just covering a few bills here and there. Electric bill 1 month when it was unusually high, internet another month when they were short, car insurance when Dad's renewal came due and the rate had jumped. Small stuff that I could easily afford, and they desperately needed. Then my parents' furnace died in January 2 years ago. Middle of winter, temperatures dropping below zero, and their 30-year-old furnace just gave up the ghost. Replacement cost was $4,500. They didn't have it. They didn't have savings. What little they'd managed to save had been wiped out by Mom's medical expenses the year before. They were looking at payment plans that would have cost them twice as much in interest, or worse, trying to heat their house with space heaters and hoping nothing caught fire. What was I supposed to do, let them freeze? I paid for it. After that, the requests became more frequent. Claire's car needed a new transmission, $2,800. She couldn't get to work without a car, and she was barely making ends meet as it was. Owen needed money for textbooks and fees. $600 here, $400 there. Mom's medical bills from some procedures insurance didn't fully cover, $1,200. Dad's prescription costs, $300 monthly because Medicare Part D is garbage and doesn't cover half of what he needs. Within a year and a half, I was basically subsidizing my entire family to the tune of about $3,000 to $4,000 per month, paying part of my parents' mortgage because their fixed income wasn't enough, covering Claire's car payment when she was between jobs, which was often, sending Owen grocery money because apparently a 26-year-old man couldn't figure out how to feed himself, paying for family dinners because otherwise we wouldn't all get together, handling all the emergency expenses that popped up with alarming regularity. I told myself this was temporary. They'd get back on their feet. Claire would find a stable job. Owen would graduate and start working. My parents would adjust to their retirement income. The help wouldn't be needed forever. I was wrong. But here's the thing that started to bother me more than the money. They never once treated my work like it was real work. It started small. My mom would call me at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Can you run to the store for me? You're just home anyway. Mom, I'm working. I have a client call at 3 p.m. Oh, but it'll only take 20 minutes. You can spare 20 minutes for your mother. The grocery store wasn't 20 minutes. It was 20 minutes there, 30 minutes shopping for her specific list of items. She's very particular. 20 minutes back. That's an hour and 10 minutes minimum. And it would mean I'd be rushing back. Probably late for my call, definitely flustered and unprepared. Mom, I really can't. I'm preparing for this call. You're always preparing for calls. When do you actually have time for your family? The guilt trip. Classic. I'd end up going to the store, being late for my call, apologizing to the client, and feeling frustrated for the rest of the day. Or Claire would text, "Can you watch Buster tomorrow?" I have a thing. Buster is her neurotic Australian shepherd, who literally cannot be left alone for more than 2 hours without destroying something. He's eaten through 2 couch cushions, a leather chair, countless shoes, and once chewed a hole in Claire's drywall. He needs constant supervision, regular walks, and someone who can handle his anxiety-induced chaos. Claire, I have calls scheduled all day tomorrow. Come on, Marcus. You can work with a dog there. It's not like you're doing surgery. That phrase, "it's not like you're doing surgery," or variations of it, became a constant refrain, as if the only valid work is the kind where you physically show up somewhere in business clothes and clock in, as if knowledge work, consulting, anything done on a computer wasn't real in the same way. I tried explaining once that I do serious work. I find vulnerabilities in company networks. I test their security systems. I write detailed reports for executives and board members. I present findings to C-suite leaders. One mistake on my part could mean a company's data gets breached, costing them millions and destroying my reputation. Claire's response, "But you're just sitting at a computer. It's not like physical labor or anything." Owen was the worst about just showing up unannounced. He'd walk into my house. He has a key I gave him for emergencies, while I was in the middle of a video call with a client. He'd wave at the camera like this was some casual Zoom chat with friends, grab something from my fridge, and plop down on my couch to watch TV at full volume. First time this happened, I was presenting a security audit to a C-suite executive at a healthcare company. This was a $45,000 contract, a full penetration test of their network infrastructure, weeks of work, findings that would affect thousands of patients' data security. Owen walked in, saw I was on a call, and still grabbed leftover pizza from my fridge and turned on the TV. The executive asked if everything was okay, clearly distracted by the noise and interruption. I had to mute myself, get up from my desk, still visible on camera, and physically chase Owen out of my house while he complained that I was being dramatic. When I called him later to tell him that was completely unacceptable, he said, "Dude, chill. It's not like you were in a real meeting. You're just talking to people on your computer. Owen, that person pays me $45,000. That's more than you'll make in a year at your part-time job. Whatever, you're home all day. You can do that stuff anytime. Number, I can't do that stuff anytime. I have scheduled calls. I have deadlines. I have clients in different time zones who need me available at specific hours. Just because I'm not physically in an office doesn't mean I'm not working real hours with real responsibilities." I explained, again, that those people on my computer were clients paying me serious money and trusting me with their company's security. His response, "But you work from home. You can do that stuff anytime. That's the whole point of working from home." That's not the whole point. The point is flexibility within structure. The point is avoiding commute time and office distractions. The point is working efficiently in a comfortable environment. It's not an open invitation for my family to treat my entire workday like I'm available for their convenience. The disrespect got progressively worse as they got more comfortable with me bankrolling their lives. My sister started calling me during work hours to vent about her boyfriend drama. 30-minute conversations about how Tyler was being a jerk, or Josh wasn't texting her back, or whatever crisis was happening in her love life that week. When I'd say I was busy, she'd get offended. Wow, okay. I guess I'll just deal with my problems alone. Thanks, Marcus. Claire, I'm literally in the middle of a security vulnerability assessment for a hospital network. I can call you tonight. Forget it. Some brother you are. I guess I know where I rank in your priorities. Then she'd call Mom, who'd call me an hour later. Your sister's really upset. Would it kill you to talk to her for a few minutes? You're always glued to that computer anyway. She needs her brother. Ma'am, I'm trying to ensure that patient data doesn't get breached. But sure, let me drop everything to hear about how Tyler didn't respond to a text fast enough. Mom also developed this habit of calling me for tech support in the middle of my workday. Her email wasn't working. Her phone was being weird. Could I come over and fix the TV remote? The printer wasn't printing. The iPad said something about storage. Every single tech issue in their house became my problem, and it always had to be solved immediately. Mom, I'm working. Can I help you tonight? But I need to send this email now. It's important. What's the email? A coupon to your aunt. An email. About a coupon. That needed to interrupt my work immediately. And when I explained I was working, she'd say the same thing every time. Can't you do it remotely? You're on the computer anyway. Just take a quick break and walk me through it. Ma'am, I'm penetration testing a banking system's network infrastructure, not troubleshooting why your iPad says storage is full because you have 10,000 photos of your grandkids that you refuse to delete. Dad was more subtle about it, but still exhausting. He'd schedule handyman tasks for me during my work hours. Marcus, can you come help me move this furniture Thursday around 10? Marcus, I need you to help install this ceiling fan Tuesday morning. Marcus, can you come look at this leaky pipe Wednesday afternoon? Dad, those are work hours for me. It'll only take an hour. You can take a break from the computer. You're young. You need to move around anyway. Sitting at a desk all day isn't healthy. The health concern angle. As if I was asking for a favor by not coming over to do manual labor during my work hours. The implication was always the same. My work wasn't real work. It was just me sitting at home doing computer stuff that could be paused whenever convenient for them. Never mind that I was making more money than anyone else in the family. Never mind that I was literally paying their bills with the money from this fake work. Never mind that one missed call or deadline could cost me tens of thousands of dollars. Owen was even worse. He'd come over to use my faster internet to download games or stream stuff. He'd eat my food, not just snacks, but actual meals I'd prepared. He'd take naps on my couch. He'd play video games on my TV. He treated my house like an extension of my parents' house, like it was a shared space he had equal right to. Once I found him in my office chair, using my gaming PC, which I also use for resource-intensive security testing and virtual machine labs, when I came back from grabbing lunch. What are you doing? Just playing some Apex. Your computer's way better than mine. This graphics card is insane. Owen, that's my work computer. Get off. Dude, relax. I'm not hurting anything. I'll be done in like an hour. No, get off now. Why are you being such a dick? You're not even using it right now. I had to physically drag him out of my office chair. He acted like I was being completely unreasonable. Said I'd changed since I started making money. Said I used to be cool, and now I was just another corporate asshole. I wasn't even corporate. I was independent. But pointing that out wouldn't have mattered. The worst part was that I couldn't complain about any of this without looking like the bad guy. My parents would say, "We're family. We help each other." Eclair would say, "I guess money changed you." Owen would call me selfish. If I tried to set boundaries, I was ungrateful. If I said no to requests, I was abandoning family. If I prioritized my work, I was choosing money over relationships. I was trapped in this dynamic where I funded their lives but couldn't demand basic respect in return. Last month was when everything exploded. I had the biggest meeting of my career scheduled. A presentation to a Fortune 500 company's board about their cybersecurity vulnerabilities. This was a $250,000 annual contract. Life-changing money that would establish me as a top-tier consultant and open doors to similar corporate clients. I'd been preparing for weeks. I'd done a comprehensive audit of their entire network infrastructure, tested their physical security, assessed their employee training, evaluated their incident response procedures, and created a detailed remediation plan. I'd found some serious security gaps, vulnerabilities that could have led to massive data breaches affecting millions of customers. The presentation was scheduled for 2 p.m. on a Thursday, and the CEO, CFO, CIO, and 3 board members would be on the call. This was the most important meeting of my professional career. I told my entire family about this meeting 2 weeks in advance. I specifically said, "I have an extremely important client presentation on Thursday the 15th at 2 p.m. Please don't call me, text me, or come over. This is a huge deal for my business. I need 0 interruptions." Everyone acknowledged it. Everyone said they understood. Mom said, "Of course, honey, we'll leave you alone." Dad said, "Good luck, son. We're proud of you." Claire said, Yeah, got it." Owen gave me a thumbs up. I thought we were clear. Thursday morning, I did a final practice run of my presentation. Everything was perfect. My slides were polished. My talking points were memorized. I'd rehearsed my responses to potential questions. My internet connection was solid. I'd even called my ISP the day before to make sure there wouldn't be any service interruptions. My backup internet hotspot was charged and ready. My camera and microphone were tested. My professional outfit was laid out. I was ready. At 1:30 p.m., I logged into the video call early to make sure everything worked. Audio good, video good, screen sharing good, lighting good, background professional. I muted myself and waited for everyone to join, reviewing my notes one last time. At 1:45 p.m., I heard a car pull into my driveway. I glanced out my window and saw Claire's beat-up Honda Civic. Then I saw her boyfriend Tyler, who I'd met twice and didn't like either time, and Buster, the neurotic dog, all get out and walk toward my front door. My stomach dropped into my shoes. She had a key. She was going to walk right in, right before the most important meeting of my career. I unmuted myself quickly and told the CEO's assistant, who joined early to handle technical setup, that I needed 1 minute, apologized profusely, and ran to my front door. I opened it just as Claire was putting her key in the lock. "What are you doing here?" "Oh, hey! Tyler and I are going to that craft fair on the waterfront. Can you watch Buster for a few hours? We'll be back by like 6. My mind went blank for a second. I couldn't process what I was hearing. "Claire, I told you I have a massive meeting. Right now. It's literally starting in 10 minutes. Come on, it's just a dog. He'll just sleep. You won't even notice him." Buster was already barking at a squirrel. He would absolutely not just sleep. This dog requires constant attention, gets anxious when left alone, and would 100% start barking during my presentation. "No, I can't. I specifically told everyone about this meeting 2 weeks ago." Tyler chimed in, clearly annoyed. "Dude, we already paid for tickets. We can't bring a dog to a craft fair. Just help out for a few hours. Then take him home or board him somewhere. I have a $250,000 contract presentation starting in 8 minutes. Claire rolled her eyes dramatically. "You're so dramatic. It's not like real work. You're just talking on your computer. Buster can sit there. He'll be fine." That phrase, "it's not like real work." After years of disrespect, after thousands of dollars in financial support, after countless interruptions and dismissals of my career, after being treated like my time and work were worthless, that phrase broke something in me. Something fundamental snapped. A switch flipped. I was done. "Get off my property. Now. Marcus, don't be... Get off my property. I'm not watching your dog. Leave. You're being ridiculous. We'll just be gone for a few hours. It's not a big deal. I'm going back to my meeting. If you or that dog are still here in 2 minutes, I'm calling the police." Claire's face went bright red. She looked genuinely shocked, like I'd slapped her. "Fine. Screw you. We'll remember this the next time you need something. I don't need anything from you. I never have. Now leave." They left, Claire stomping to her car while Tyler muttered something about me being an asshole. I went back to my meeting with my heart pounding so hard I thought the microphone might pick it up. My hands were shaking. I had to take 3 deep breaths before unmuting myself, but I delivered that presentation flawlessly. 17 slides, 45 minutes of detailed security analysis, 20 minutes of Q&A where I answered every question confidently and thoroughly. The CEO thanked me personally. The board members were impressed. 3 days later, I signed the contract. After the meeting ended successfully and I'd sent my follow-up materials, I sat in my office for a long time thinking about what had just happened. Claire's entitlement, the complete dismissal of my work, the years of disrespect while I'd been funding their lives. My phone was blowing up with texts from Claire calling me every name she could think of. Owen had joined in, saying I'd embarrassed the family. Mom was asking what happened. Dad wanted to know why Claire was upset. I ignored all of it and pulled up my banking records. I did something I should have done years ago. I calculated exactly how much money I'd given my family over the past 2 years. The total was $91,600 in 2 years. To a family that treated my career like a hobby and my time like it was worthless. I'd paid for $18,400 in mortgage help for my parents, $12,800 in car payments for Claire, $8,600 in loans to Owen that were never repaid, $7,200 in medical bills for Mom. And what did I get in return? Constant interruptions, dismissal of my career, expectations that I'd be available 24/7 because I work from home, being treated like a bank machine instead of a person, having my boundaries trampled, being called dramatic or selfish whenever I tried to prioritize my actual career. That night, I called a family meeting at my house. Everyone came over, probably expecting I wanted to apologize to Claire for overreacting about the dog situation. I'd prepared a document, I printed out copies for everyone. 4 pages of detailed financial records with dates, amounts, and descriptions. I want to show you all something, I started. We were all in my living room. They sat on the couch in chairs. I stood. This is a breakdown of every dollar I've given to this family over the past 2 years. I handed them each a copy and watched their faces as they looked at the numbers. Mom's eyes went wide. Dad looked uncomfortable. Owen went pale. Claire tried to act like she didn't care, but I saw her swallow hard when she saw her total. That's almost $92,000, I continued. From my fake job, my not real work, the thing I do on my computer that anyone can interrupt anytime. Marcus, Mom started. I'm not done. Today, Claire showed up at my house during the most important business meeting of my career. A $250,000 contract. $250,000. Because she wanted me to watch her dog. Because my work isn't real work. I said I was sorry, Claire began. No, you didn't. You haven't apologized once. None of you have. Because you don't think you did anything wrong. You don't respect what I do. You never have. I pulled out 4 more documents. Individual breakdowns for each family member. These are detailed breakdowns for each of you. Every payment, every bill, every loan I've given you. Consider this your final accounting. Because it stops today. What do you mean, stops? Owen asked, his voice cracking slightly. I mean, I'm done. No more mortgage help. No more car payments. No more emergency funds. No more anything. You're all cut off. Dad stood up. Son, you can't be serious. We rely on that help. Your mother's medications alone cost. Then get a second job. Figure it out. Just like I'd have to figure it out if I lost my income because someone interrupted my major client presentations. This is about the dog? Claire asked incredulously. You're cutting off Mom and Dad because of a dog? This is about respect. This is about years of treating my career like a joke while living off the money it generates. This is about boundaries that should have existed from day one. Mom started crying. Here came the guilt trip. How can you do this to your family? We raised you. We supported you when you were struggling. We gave you everything growing up. And I've paid that back 10 times over. $92,000 in 2 years. We're square. The meeting dissolved into chaos. Everyone talking over each other. Claire calling me selfish and cruel. Owen saying I was abandoning the family and didn't care about anyone but myself. Dad saying I'd regret this decision and would come crawling back. Mom sobbing about how I'd changed and didn't love them anymore. I waited for the noise to die down. Let them get it all out. One more thing, I said. I'm collecting my house keys from Owen and Claire. Effective immediately. No one has permission to enter my house without invitation. No more drop-ins. No more using my internet or my food or my space. If I'm working, I'm working. If I say I'm unavailable, that's final. These are my boundaries. If you can't respect them, you don't get access to me. You're being a monster, Claire said, throwing her key at me. It hit my chest and fell to the floor. I'm being a professional, with boundaries. Something I should have been years ago. Owen tossed his key on my coffee table without a word. He looked betrayed, like I'd personally attacked him. They left. All of them furious. Mom crying. Dad seething. Claire dramatic. Owen silent. And for the first time in years, I felt lighter. Like I'd been carrying a weight I didn't realize was there, until it was finally gone. The first week was peaceful. Quiet. No interruptions. No calls during work hours demanding I drop everything. No one letting themselves into my house while I was on important calls. No guilt trips. No expectations. I worked without constant anxiety. I took calls without worrying about background noise. I focused completely on my projects. My productivity skyrocketed. I realized how much mental energy I'd been spending on managing their needs and expectations. Then, my parents' mortgage payment came due. Dad called. Marcus, I need to talk to you about the house payment. What about it? We're short this month. Can you help out? Just this once while we figure out a new budget. No. Silence on the other end. Long, heavy silence. No? Just like that? I was clear at the meeting. I'm done subsidizing everyone. You'll need to figure it out. Your mother and I can't afford the payment on our own. We've been counting on your help for 2 years. We planned our budget around it. Then you need to adjust your budget, or sell the house and downsize, or get a roommate. I don't know, Dad, but it's not my problem anymore. This is our home. We've lived here for 30 years. You'd really let us lose our house? I'd really let you face the consequences of your own financial decisions, like an adult. He hung up on me. When he called back an hour later, I didn't answer. Claire called 3 days later. Her car payment was due and she was short. Same conversation. Same result. She called me every name in the book. Selfish, cruel, heartless, a terrible brother. She said I was proving I'd never really loved my family and was just waiting for an excuse to abandon them. You're abandoning yourself, Claire. You're 29 years old with no savings and no plan. That's on you. Screw you, Marcus. I hope you choke on your money. She hung up. Owen's grocery money request got denied. His game console suddenly needed repairs. Denied. His phone bill was due. Denied. He tried a different tactic, asking to borrow money with a payment plan, where he'd pay me back $50 a month. No, Owen. Come on, I'm actually trying to be responsible here. I'm offering to pay you back. You owe me $8,600 from previous loans you never repaid. Why would I give you more? That's different. We didn't have formal agreements. This would be official. No means no. He tried the guilt angle. Tried to get mom and dad to gang up on me. Tried to get extended family involved. Each of them tried the guilt trip angle in their own way. Mom left crying voicemails about how scared she was about money, how she didn't know what they'd do. How could her son abandon her like this? Dad sent texts about how disappointed he was in me, how he'd raised me better than this, how family was supposed to stick together. Claire posted vague things on Facebook about family betrayal and finding out who really cares about you, and blood being thinner than water, apparently. I blocked all of them for a week. I needed the mental space, needed to work without the constant emotional manipulation. Week 3 was when the real panic set in for them. My parents got a late notice on their mortgage. Claire's car got repossessed because she'd been 2 months behind even before I stopped helping. Turns out she'd been using my money for other things instead of the car payment. Owen got his internet shut off and his phone disconnected. Mom called from a number I didn't recognize. I answered thinking it was a potential client. Marcus, please. We need to talk. I have nothing to say, Mom. Your father and I are going to lose the house. The bank sent a letter saying they're starting foreclosure proceedings. Is that what you want? Your parents homeless? What I want is for you to treat my career with respect and stop acting like I'm available 24/7 because I work from home. We'll do better. We'll respect your work hours, we promise. Please, Marcus. We need help. You need to downsize. That house is too big for 2 people anyway. You can't afford it. Sell it and get something within your budget. This is our home. We've lived here for 30 years. We raised you kids here. This is where all our memories are. And you can't afford it anymore. Time to adjust to reality. How can you be so cold? We're your parents. And I'm your son whose career you never respected. Who you treated like a piggy bank. Who you interrupted constantly. Who you dismissed and belittled. Actions have consequences, Mom, she cried. Then got angry, her voice rising. Then desperate, begging. Then hung up when none of it worked. Claire showed up at my house at 9 p.m. that same night. I saw her car through the window and didn't answer the door. She didn't have a key anymore, so she couldn't get in. She pounded on the door and yelled, "Marcus! I know you're in there! Open up!" I stayed quiet. Tyler broke up with me because I don't have a car. This is your fault. You did this to me. I turned up the TV. You're destroying my life. I can't get to work. I can't do anything. And for what? Because I asked you to watch a dog? Get off my property, Claire, I called through the door without opening it. No, not until you help me. You owe me. I don't owe you anything. And if you don't leave in 1 minute, I'm calling the police for trespassing. You'd really call the cops on your own sister? Yes. I'll pay you back. Every penny. I swear. Just help me get a car. I'll even sign a contract. No. 50 seconds. You're such an asshole. I hope you're happy. 30 seconds. She finally left, squealing her tires on someone else's car she'd borrowed as she drove away. Posted more passive-aggressive Facebook statuses about betrayal and fake family and people who forget where they came from. Owen tried a different angle. He sent me a long email about how he'd been depressed for months, and my withdrawal of support was making it worse. He was seeing a therapist, his girlfriend's mom was paying, and she said he had anxiety and depression. This was setting back his progress. He might have to drop out of school permanently. His whole future was at risk. All because I was being petty and vindictive. I read the email twice and didn't respond. Not because I didn't care that he might be depressed. Mental health is serious. But because this felt manipulative. Using mental health as a weapon to get money. Week 4, my aunt, Mom's sister, called. She'd heard concerning things about how I was treating my parents. Your mother is beside herself, Marcus. She called me crying for an hour last night. How can you abandon them like this? I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm setting boundaries after years of disrespect. They relied on your support. You can't just pull the rug out from under them. Yes, I can. That's what happens when people take advantage of generosity and refuse to respect boundaries. I was never obligated to support them financially in the first place. You're being selfish and cruel. They're your parents. They gave you life. And I gave them $92,000 over 2 years while they treated my career like a joke. I explained the years of disrespect, the interruptions during client calls, the constant dismissal of my work, the assumption that I was always available, the $92,000. Everything. She was quiet for a moment. Then, still, family is family. You help each other. That's what we do. Help is supposed to be mutual. This was one-directional, and it came with constant disrespect. You're making a mistake. You'll regret this when they're gone. Maybe. But that's my decision to make. She tried arguing more, bringing up childhood memories, family obligations. What would Grandma think? All the classic guilt angles. I ended the call when she started repeating herself. My uncle, Dad's brother, tried the same thing the next day. Then a cousin I barely knew. Then my mom's best friend. Everyone had an opinion about my cruelty and selfishness. Not one of them offered to help my parents with their mortgage. Not one volunteered to cover Claire's car payment. Not one stepped up to help Owen with his expenses. They just wanted me to resume being the family bank while they spectated from the sidelines. If you're so concerned about them, I told my uncle, you're welcome to help them out financially. I can't afford it. I have my own family to support. Exactly. So do I. My family is me, and my future, and my business. They're not my responsibility. 6 weeks in, I got a call from Dad. Different tone this time. No anger, no demands, just tired and defeated. Marcus, I need to apologize. I didn't say anything. Waited. Your mother and I have been talking. Really talking. We sold the house. Closed on it last week. We're moving into a smaller place we can afford on our fixed income. Okay. And you were right. About all of it, right? We took advantage. We didn't respect your work. We treated you like you were just available. Because it wasn't a real job to us. Because we didn't understand what you actually do. He paused. I could hear him breathing heavily, like this was hard for him to say. But I Googled what you do. Read about IT security consultants. Saw what companies pay for that work. Read some articles about the field. You're a professional. You're successful. And we treated you like a kid playing games on the computer. Yeah, you did. I'm sorry. Truly sorry. Your mother's sorry too. We should have respected your time and your career from the beginning. We should have been grateful for the help instead of expecting it like it was our right. Silence. I let it stretch out. I don't expect you to forgive us right away, he continued, or start helping again. We don't deserve that. But I wanted you to know that we understand now. We screwed up. We took you for granted. And we're sorry. And thanks for saying that, Dad. Are you open to having dinner sometime? Just talking? No asking for money. No disrespecting your work. No bullshit. Just family dinner like we used to have before everything got complicated. I thought about it for a long moment. Maybe. I'll need to check my work schedule. He laughed. It was strained but genuine. Of course. You check your work schedule and let me know when you're available. We'll work around you. Your schedule, your rules. We hung up. I sat in my office staring at my monitors, feeling something loosen in my chest. Not forgiveness exactly. Not yet. But maybe the beginning of it. That was 2 months ago. Claire and Owen are still mad. Claire moved in with a friend, someone she'd borrowed money from before, and got a full-time job at a call center. She hates every second of it, constantly posts on social media about how much she hates her life, but it pays her bills. She has her own car now, nothing fancy, but it's hers. Owen had to drop out of school temporarily and got a job at a warehouse. Full-time, night shift, manual labor. He's bitter about it, blames me for ruining his education, but he's paying his own rent now. Neither has apologized. Neither has acknowledged the years of disrespect. So neither gets access to me. My parents downsized to a 2-bedroom condo they can afford on Dad's retirement and Mom's part-time income. It's smaller, older, not in the best neighborhood, but it's within their budget. They're adjusting. It's hard, but they're managing. Dad picked up some part-time work doing handyman stuff for their condo complex to help with extra expenses. Mom cut back on non-essential spending. We've had dinner 3 times now. At their new place. They've been respectful of my time and my work. They ask about my business like they're genuinely interested. They don't request money. They don't assume I'm available. It's weird, but maybe good weird. Like meeting them for the first time as adults instead of as the kid they raised. I'm not giving them money again anytime soon. Maybe ever. The trust is broken. It would take years to rebuild, and I'm not sure I want to. But I'm open to rebuilding a relationship based on mutual respect instead of financial dependence. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.